Plantar mash. So grab yourself a mobility ball, a nice tough one. We don't want a tennis ball, it's a little bit too soft. But what we're going to do, grab the ball on the floor, and we're going to get into our plantar tissue. That is all the tissue on the bottom of our foot. Can be quite stiff and gnarly, so embrace this kind of suckiness that you're going to feel. Exactly what Kenny's feeling there, but like try not to just go all willy-nilly with the ball. Start on the outside and put some pressure down and roll onto the inside. Work your way down, centimeter, outside to inside. If you do find a pretty tender spot, hang out a little bit longer. But we basically want to work all the way from underneath our toes up to the heel. Don't go on the bone, especially the heel bone, that's just too nasty. But just work out and mash out all that tight tissue in the foot, spending a couple of minutes on each side. Before you go to the next foot, just have a walk around and notice the difference between the one you've just done before the next one. You'll really start to see that difference in what we want to get out of this, okay? Arch builders. So we're trying to build the strength through that inside arch that a lot of people have kind of collapsed arches, flat feet, and we're trying to build that using in our hips and our glutes. So shoulder apart, we're going to push big toe, little toe, heel down to the ground, that tripod position. And then we just do a slight external rotation of the hips, of the legs, and you should feel the arch just come up slightly. Squeeze and hold for 2 seconds and let it go. Really bring in the glutes, so squeeze your cheeks, hold for a couple of seconds, let it go. You should feel and see that arch develop and collapse as you go. Again, little muscles are going to start working that haven't been worked in a while, so embrace that kind of pain, weird feeling. You may get a bit of cramp, again, very normal, it just shows that you're working hard. 25 reps, 2-second holds for each rep. Toe abductions. So we're trying to build the muscle on the inside of our foot, which is going to control the inwards and outwards of the big toe. So standing feet pretty much next to each other, just a little bit of a gap. And ideally those big toes are going to start straight, but for most people we've kind of got that bunion coming on, so they're going to be a little bit angled, which is cool, but it's actually going to help us clap them together to get that abduction. So you want to try and touch the big toes together, relax. Touch together, relax. Okay, doesn't look like you're doing much, but just bringing those toes together is really going to work that inside muscle and going to start to feel a good burn through the inside of that foot, up the little bit of a shin, and build some strength through those toes. Toe spreaders. So we're going to get some more space between these toes that is taken away from most modern day shoes, squashing those toes together in the toe box. So what we want to try and get is with our toes, is spreading them out as far as we can. Now again, this is not the easiest thing to do. You're going to try very hard up here for not a lot of movement down here. So just getting a bit of movement out to the side is great. Hold for a second or two and relax. Spread. Again, won't move much, especially we don't. Kane doesn't move at all. He needs a bit of work. And just play with it. Again, this will get easier with more repetitions, but biggest thing to do, don't get too frustrated straight away if nothing's working. The fact that the brain is working, it means something is happening, and it's just trying to recreate that connection that most of us have lost. Cool. Toe taps and toe lifts. Now this is quite a tricky one. Me and Kane aren't very good at this, so we're going to show you the real regression, the real beginner start for this. So what we're ideally trying to do is get that big toe moving by itself. Now, I would love to show you that I could do it, but at my stage I can't quite yet, so I'm going to put my hand over my other 4 toes and then lift up. You'll notice with some people the big toe wants to push in, very unfortunately normal. We want to try and keep it as straight as possible. Now take your time with this because the brain's going to think, what the hell are you doing? But once we've done 25 going up, we're going to then cover the big toe and then lift up the other 4 toes. Again, you'll start to feel some muscles in the shin, calves around that ankle start to work and think, what the hell is this? Because it's the first time they've been used forever. Once we've done that, we're then going to lift up all the toes. I'm going to hold my other 4 toes and then tap the big toe down. How's that one?
Not good.
25 of them, and then opposite, hold the big toe up, tap the other 4 down. Okay, so 25 each way. But like I said, the eventual goal is to take the hands away and do it with only the toes working. A lot of muscle-mind connection there, so if you feel like nothing's moving, it's okay. Patience, take your time with it. It will eventually get there with practice. All right, so give that one a go. Tib raises. So we're working on big muscle on the front of the shin there that doesn't get a lot of love, and is very important for all kind of ankle stability, knee support, and knee strength. So we want to make sure the front of the shins are really nice and strong to withstand a lot of load. So from here, butt against the wall, heels about a foot away from the wall, and all we're going to do, pretty straightforward, just going to lift your toes as high as possible. You're going to feel that outside shin start to work, and we also want to feel that inside quad, the VMO, work at the same time. So lifting up, second or two, pause, control down slowly, make sure big toe goes all the way back down, and up. If you've never really done any of these before, they're going to start burning quite quickly, and we're going to get a lot of load in there just to build up that capacity, that resilience of the shins. All right, so hit the prescribed reps, really start to feel it through here and get that arch pronations. So again, use something that you're going to hold on to, because not many people are going to do this straight off the bat without some kind of balance. So we're going to come up onto our tiptoes, but we're focusing on coming up first on the pinky. So Ken's going to go up on the pinky, then he's going to pronate across onto his big toe. Pinky's going to come up, and then he's going to come back down kind of on the inside arch. Then we're going to reverse it, come up onto the big toe, supinate across onto the pinky, and back down. That's one rep. We're doing 25 of these. So there's a lot going on. That's what the balance is here to help with. Take your time and really focus on going up on one side, across, and back down the other. You're going to feel all kinds of muscles working, which is the best thing about it. Couch stretch. So we're trying to open up the front of this whole hip complex. So you can see here with Kane, he's got one knee. Put yourself on a pad just to take some load off the knee. Foot up against the wall. Now, ideally, the goal is to get this shin flush to the wall, shoulders to the wall. Kane's a bit tight for his hips, just like most of us are, so he's not quite there yet, but we're going to build with this over time. Biggest thing, though, is going to make sure he's tucking his hips underneath, so he's squeezing his butt, and you'll feel a deeper, intense stretch through the front of that hip. What we can also do, you can do that for a couple of seconds, really squeeze and hold, let it go, rotate, squeeze and hold, on and off, making sure you're breathing, you're not overly doing it, and that's just going to help get a bit more stimulation coming from the glute to help the hip flexor quad muscle release. The more we do this, obviously the more we can get back, the more we can open up the range, the more extension we get in our walking, the more glute function we get, the easier it is to hike. The pec flex. We're trying to build some connection, some awareness, and basically strength in our big chest muscles that are very limited, again, going back to our good old sedentary position where the shoulder is rolling forward. So to get maximum connection, especially my brain, to the pecs, we've got hands together, but we've got pinky and ring finger pushed together. We're going to start with a little extension with the elbows, but we're going to start down at the belly button. All Kane's going to do is going to squeeze his hands together as hard as he can, and he should feel the pecs on nice and strong. We're going to hold from anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. Then he's going to come up to chest height, another 15 to 30 seconds, and then to eye height. Holding there, still squeezing this the whole time, never losing the contraction. Biggest thing to be careful of as we go up, that we're not using the traps. It is all that pec. Once again, we're looking for connection, blood flow, and potential cramping. If you can cramp that, it shows you're in the right spot.